Hi Freya. The story today is 1,000 Yards of Sea. The fishing boat was rocking slowly in the blue waters, to and fro, to and fro. Tom Taffet, the fisherman, looked at the heap of fish shining in the sun and thought, what a lot of fish I've caught today. I shall haul in just one more catch and then make for the harbour. He leaned over the edge of the little boat and drew in his net. As he poured the fish onto the deck, sparks of water slid from their pink, silvery, blue silvery, brown speckled backs. There's a beauty, thought Tom. I've never seen a fish that colour before. He picked it up by the tail to have a closer look and was so surprised that he sat down at once, right in the middle of his catch. He was holding the tail of a mermaid. Her hair was brown and hung with seaweed. Her tail was mauve and blue and silver and green, and her eyes were the colour of stormy water. "Cod steaks and shrimp tails," he said. "I thought mermaids only lived in stories and sea shanties. Am I dreaming?" "Certainly not," said the mermaid. "I don't know who you are, but I'd be very grateful if you could just put me back in the water, please. I was on my way home, you know." "But I can't put you back," said Tom. "I could be rich if you would help me. We'd both be famous. I'd be able to buy a little house with a garden. I could grow flowers, and I'd never have to go fishing in the cold and wind ever again." "Well, that sounds lovely for you," said the mermaid, "but I should hate it. I'd have to live in a glass box full of water, and people would stare at me through the walls. I'd never see my family again." "I would look after you as if you were my own daughter," said Tom. "You could live with me and my wife. We'd put the tank in the front room, and I'd bring you wonderful toys and things to eat." "Would you like your daughter to live at the bottom of the sea?" asked the mermaid. "However many good things she had down there, wouldn't you miss her?" She began to cry. Tears like small pearls rolled down her cheeks and plopped onto the fish piled up on the deck. The fisherman thought for a long time. His daughter was grown up with children of her own, but he could still remember how she used to cry when she was small. He would have hated to have her live at the bottom of the sea. He would have missed her very much. "Oh well," he sighed, "I suppose you're right. You are too young to leave home. It's a shame, that's what it is. No one will believe that I've seen you. They'll say I was dreaming." "I'll give you something in return for setting me free," said the mermaid, smiling now, "and maybe they'll believe you after all. May I borrow your knife?" "It's very sharp, do be careful," said Tom. He picked up the mermaid and slipped her gently into the water. Then he put his knife in her hand. With a flash of her tail she was gone. "That's that then," said Tom to himself. "No mermaid and no knife. What a fool I am. Maybe I was dreaming, but my knife is gone, and that's a pity. I shall have to buy a new one at the market tomorrow." He turned the little boat towards the harbour. It was night time now, and Tom could see the reflection of the stars dancing in the black water. Suddenly he heard a voice. "Please don't go so quickly. I'm carrying something very heavy." It was the mermaid. Tom was so surprised. He spilled a mug of cocoa over his trousers. There's the boat setting off. And here's the mermaid come back, look. Oh, popped back up right out of the blue. "Fish cakes and fillets," he said. "I never thought to see you again. What's that you're holding?" "It's 1,000 yards of sea. I've rolled it up and tied it neatly. I'm sure on land people would like to buy some. And here's your knife too." She carried the bundle of sea into the boat and handed the knife to Tom. "Thank you very much, little mermaid," said Tom. He could not imagine what people were going to do with the length of water, but the mermaid was gone, so he could not ask her. The next day, Tom went to market to try and sell a few yards of sea. He set the bundle on a big wooden box and cut the ropes of seaweed that the mermaid had tied so carefully. Wave upon wave of blue and green and silver fell around his feet. The colours shone and lifted and merged into one another. "Come, come and buy genuine yards of sea, cut by a mermaid. Yes, a mermaid, just for me," he shouted. "Guaranteed to bring luck, lovely colours. Come and see the lovely colours." People gathered around Tom's box and the women began to buy the silky, whispery stuff. At the end of the day, Tom Taffer had made enough money to buy a little house with garden to grow flowers in. The women made the yards of sea into dresses and petticoats that sounded like rushing water when they moved, and they called it taffeta after Tom Taffet, who brought it to the shore. Isn't that a happy ending? It's because Tom Taffet was so kind and let the mermaid go back. She repaid him with her kindness. The end. All right, Freya. Now it's time to shut your little eyes and dream of being a little mermaid floating in the sea. Love you loads. Take care. Good night.